Oh, what about now? Oh. I didn't have the mic on. Nobody could even hear me. What I was saying is, everybody, welcome to podcast number 3. We're super excited to be here. All right, obviously, with this being a live podcast, we want to make sure, ignore my dog in the background. We want to make sure that everybody can hear me, can hear Emily. So we're going to do just some quick testing, just make sure we are good, and then we will start the recording as well. So Emily, do some tests for me. Okay, doesn't seem like. Let me try this way. Okay, try that again. Ooh. I'm not sure. It's not showing up on my side. Hold on. Hold on. 2 seconds. Let me check it out in here. Okay, so yeah, no, it's not going. Give me just 2 seconds. Let me do some adjustments on my side. Make sure that we can hear. All right, Emily, try that again. Try it one more time. Ooh. This is very perplexing. let me try this. I just don't want to I don't want to hear you twice. We don't want you to echo. Try that again. Hold on. Let me get into the call. Oh, you know, the call dropped on my side. That's probably why. That might explain things. If you can add, yep, there we go. So you can add me to the call. Okay. Alright. Try that again, Emily.
No.
There we go. I think that's working.
3 hours 84.
Okay, I'm going to test this here. Make sure that I can hear you over here. Okay, so I think we are good to go, finally. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. So, yeah, as we were saying, thank you everybody for joining podcast number 3. We're really, really excited.
Lots to talk about.
Lots and lots to talk about. I'm going to do just another quick share, just letting everybody know, like, hey, we're live. Don't forget. If you guys are watching, make sure that you're sharing it with other people so that if you have people in your life that are interested in the EMPYREAN series and Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and all those good things, that you are sharing it. And yes, YouTube is live. I am sharing the link now. I'm going to say join here. Join now. All right, if you're in the chat, please do. If you're on YouTube, there should be like a little comment button on the bottom. Type in the chat. Let us know you're here so we can see. We want to be able to see you, talk to you, chat with you. Let us know who you are. Let us know what you're excited to talk about so that we don't miss anything that you guys want to hear about. Super excited. All right, that's on the last little bit of sharing. Like I said again, don't forget you guys share on your side as well. That would be super helpful. All right, and here we go. All right, Emily. So, okay.
Let's dive into it.
Let's get into it. So, we have exciting things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to do like a brief overview of book 1 and book 2, so Fourth Wing and an Iron Flame. But we're really going to get into Onyx Storm, obviously, because Onyx Storm is the most recent book that's been published. It's got a lot of things that we need to talk about to get ready for book 4, which obviously we're excited about. And yeah, just some things that we're going to talk through. Our predictions for book 4, maybe a little bit of a timeline. We're going to go into our own fan castings for Fourth Wing. And then I have a quick update on Lightlark. So if you've been watching our other podcasts, I've not shown Emily this yet, but I have a quick update on something that I found this morning on TikTok. I was saving it for the podcast. I didn't even share it, about Lightlark that Alex Astor put on TikTok today. So just prepare yourself. And then, of course, our book reviews for what we read the last 2 months. So, without further ado, Emily, do you want to kick us off with Fourth Wing? Give us your thoughts, your favorite character. What are you thinking?
Okay. Book 1 favorite character is obviously Liam. Oh, that doesn't last very long.
Yeah, unfortunately.
His, I don't even want to talk about his death or anything, because other than the ending of Onyx Storm, that is the thing that ticked me off the most.
For sure. I loved Fourth Wing. Obviously, it was this huge movement almost, I think. ACOTAR really set the bar high for fantasy novels and like where to go from there. And like who was going to top ACOTAR. And then Fourth Wing comes around, and it's this huge phenomenon because of these sprayed edges. It wasn't even about the story. It was about the sprayed edges on a book. Because I think it was like the first one that really, I guess, I don't know, caught people's attention. And so everybody was like running out to buy this book with these sprayed edges. Which, I can't say anything. Because I did not buy this Fourth Wing with the sprayed edges. I hunted this down because they're no longer in production. I hunted this down as a first edition from someone we used to go to high school with. And I drove to another state to buy this book from her. Crazy. But then it really dedication. But so, Fourth Wing really sparked this like huge movement, even further than ACOTAR, I think, did, in the world of romantasy. And everybody fell in love. And now here we are, years later, talking about the entire EMPYREAN series as a whole.
Yep.
So, Okay, I just want to make sure that you can hear us. Okay, sorry, just want to make sure. Yeah, okay, cool, we can hear. Okay, just making sure. And, oop. Oh, hang on. I have lost the call. Hang on. This is driving me bananas. Okay.
Is something happening with the audio?
Oh, no, I think I'm back in. Okay, sorry. Sorry, everybody. I, for some reason, keep getting kicked out of this call. Discord doesn't want to play nice today. Okay, but we're good. Fantastic. Okay, we're back in. All right, sorry. Okay, so Fourth Wing, in a very short, condensed recap, it's a young girl named Violet Sorrengail who joins the Writers Quadrant, even though she was brought up by her dad to join the Scribe Quadrant. So scribes are like librarians on crack. And then the Writers Quadrant is Dragon Riders. So it's at this war college, and she basically she has a frail and weak body, and she's like fighting for her life in this Writers Quadrant, and comes along friends, but then also her love interest Zayden, and they fall in love, and she's learning then that there's been a lot of lies being told about the ongoing war with Paromial and things like that. And then at the end, boom, shocker, there's a betrayal where Zayden has actually been helping Paromial win, or at least fight in the war, because it comes to light that they're not actually fighting each other. They're actually fighting a whole different third party bad guy called the Venom. Okay. Very quick summary of Fourth Wing. Very quick, very fast. So that's where we kind of got with Fourth Wing. So I'll be totally honest. Loved Fourth Wing. I ate that thing up like it was nobody's business. Iron Flame, I got so lost in Iron Flame. It was like, oh, hang on. What in the world is going on with this thing? Mills. Cannot hear you all of a sudden. Mm-mm. Nope, I cannot hear you all of a sudden. Mills. My dog's barking in the background. Oh, sorry guys. Hang on just a second. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, now I can hear you. Okay. What were you saying? Go ahead.
I was just agreeing. kind of like got lost a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I really understood what was happening in Fourth Wing, and then it came to Iron Flame, and I kind of got lost a little bit with all like the runes and the wards and the like her having to like them, you know, firing up the wards, and like I get the general concept, but it's like all the Millie, that's enough. All of the jargon, I guess, back and forth was so confusing to me.
Yeah.
So I actually, before I read um, Iron Flame, I went, or before I read Onyx Storm, I went back and did like Google searches about Iron Flame because I didn't have time to reread Iron Flame. I had to get info quick. So, do you have a quick recap of Iron Flame? Did you understand it better than I did?
I don't know. It's been a minute since I read it, but they go. Is this the one where she gets kidnapped in Iron Flame, right?
Yeah.
Some point. She meets Zayden's ex-fiance, whatever you want to call her. And then now they're like kind of close. Turns out that Zayden is a duke and
potential duke. Yeah.
Then they have, I forgot who they fought. Oh, the Wyvern. That's who.
Yep.
The shield them and trying to build up Door at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, and she meets her brother.
Yes.
That
was a big plot hole from, well, not necessarily a plot hole, but a plot point. From book 1 to book 2. Book 1, you know, throughout her journeys in the Writer's Quadrant, she's reading this book that was left by her brother, which she's not supposed to have because anytime a writer dies, you're supposed to burn all of their things. But anyway, this book gets left behind. It's called the Book of Brennan, which is her brother. And so he's supposedly dead throughout the whole first book. And that was another big thing at the end of book 1 was that he's actually alive. And so, yeah, throughout second book, she actually gets to know him again.
Yeah. Well, try not to kill him, actually.
Yeah. So, there's all that.
Her mom dies.
And her mom dies. And at the very end, Zayden turns Venin. Yeah. So in a brief overview of Venin is to be Venin, you have to have channeled magic beyond like your dragon, because when you bond to dragons you get magic. So beyond your dragon, and you have lesser magic, but you have like actual powers when you bond to a dragon. And then past that, if you channel energy, magic, power from the earth, you turn Venin. Because like what you take from the earth takes from you, and it's like you break your soul, pieces of your soul off when you channel from the earth.
Can you explain it like that is crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, so...
Like, why would you read something like that?
Right. So at the end of Iron Flame, Zayden has to make a choice to save everybody, and also Violet, more specifically. So he is, you know, being bombarded with all these Venin, and the Sage, which is like this higher power of the Venin. There's like a hierarchy, which we'll talk about in just a minute. And he ends up channeling so that he can defeat the Venin. And then himself turns into a Venin. And now...
But he didn't actually kill him.
Um, no, I think
He's still alive.
he just defeated him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let me see. Um, this is driving me nuts. Emily, talk again.
Hello.
Okay, so it can still hear you, but I cannot
Yeah,
hear
I don't
you
know
through
what
my
happened. I heard the
headphones.
disc open.
Discord is just being insane today. It's just being like, yeah, you want to do a podcast? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Let me. I might be able to solve this. Let me try this. Why doesn't it show my whole name? How annoying is that? Okay. Discord honestly can go die in a hole. This why doesn't it show my name? It says M dot dot dot. What did Okay. We just want to bring a good podcast to you guys, okay? So just bear with me.
Difficulty.
We make like little adjustments every time so that it's better every time. So by the time we get to like number 10 of these, then it's not a problem anymore. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me see if I can add. Nope, no. 2 seconds. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is gonna drive me crazy. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it this way. There we go. Boom, boom. 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Come on, computer.
It's like making it all work.
It truly is. I don't know what is going on. Okay. Okay. So now if we go back here, and now I go here. Okay, how about that? Okay, talk, Emily.
Okay.
Say it again.
What?
Say it again. Say it again. I cannot hear you through Discord. Bells.
Hello?
Okay, this is just gonna be how it's gonna have to be. I can't hear you. Okay. Alright, we'll figure it out. It's at a later date. Alright, so anyway, Let me just get back to what we're doing. Okay. We'll just leave Discord, like I said, to die in a hole. Okay. Moving on to, okay, so that was Fourth Ring done. Iron Flame. And now, Onyx Storm. It is so reflective that my camera is like making it really shiny. Okay, so, by the way, which one is your favorite cover?
Onyx Storm.
Think so? Onyx Storm?
Yep.
I think mine is Iron Flame.
Yep.
I do really like Onyx Storm, but I think my favorite is Iron Flame. Okay, so what do we want to talk about first? Because there's a lot.
Let's just pick something out of the book. How about... Sorry, there's another bookmark in there. I do like at the beginning of this one though, and to be honest, I'm not sure all of them have it. But in Onyx Storm, it has the riders and the dragons.
Yes, that was so helpful.
It was.
I'm
like, okay, I'm really writing this or whatever.
Yeah. I went back to this page so many times throughout the book so I could be like, okay, now whose dragon was that? Whose is that? What can they do? So, yeah, that was super helpful.
Yeah.
So, on my side, what I had, which I'm going to see if I can find it as I kind of talk about it, but I think my favorite character in this book, in Onyx Storm, which, to be totally honest, in like Iron Flame and Fourth Wing, I was like, yeah, okay, like these are just kind of side characters. Yeah, what's the big deal? But I loved Riddick in this book.
Yes. His demeanor and just outlook on everything, no matter what the heck is going on, is the less serious one.
Yes. I love it so much. So much. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I think this is it actually. Okay. so it's in chapter 23. It's where they're in Deverelli. So that's the first isle that they meet. Yeah. That they go there. Do what?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. But they're in Deverelli. They meet Cortland, the king. But it's so funny because, oh gosh, where is it at? It says, so the very first line says, "This is a ridiculous way to travel," Riddick says for the dozenth time, hauling himself upright in the saddle after slipping yet again as our horses navigate the uneven stone streets of the capital city. And I was like, okay, so like he's not having a good time. And then it's like, Zayden is this like hard character. He's like, he doesn't want to, he gets kind of jealous. He doesn't want to talk about Violet and Dane. Like he's like, I know you guys have a history, but I don't want to hear about it. And then all of a sudden he's like, did you two ride a lot when you were younger? Talking about Dane and Violet. And everybody is like, what? Everybody's like, are you okay? Like, are you feeling okay? And then everybody's like, okay, this is so weird. And Zayden's like, what? Am I not allowed to ask about your childhood? And Violet goes, no, I blurt, of course you are. And it says, it's just that you usually act like I didn't grow up with her, Dane answers casually, like we weren't best friends. And Riddick says, I'm so fucking glad I got on this horse. I loved that part so much. I don't know, it's
Yeah.
just this like simple little sentence about it, but I laughed out loud. Like, I love that so much. I could just imagine him riding on this horse with this like shit eating grin. And he's over in the corner like, I'm so
Enjoying the
glad
scene.
I got on this horse. So he could sit and just like watch this all unfold.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that part so much. Um, and then I also really love the part where he finally finds out that Zayden is Venom. And so he
Mm-hmm.
and Violet go into the woods with the silence rune and
Yeah.
talk about it. And Violet gets all like really worked up because obviously she's like concerned about Zayden. And so lightning strikes. And at the end, they walk out and Zayden's like leaning up against a tree. And Riddick is like, that wasn't us. I mean, it was us, but it wasn't us.
It wasn't us.
I loved that part so much. I thought it was so funny. So, and then apparently him and his dragon had been playing like pranks on each other for like the last couple weeks or so. I just loved his character in this book. I think Rebecca Yarros did a really good job. Um,
Yeah.
Having him be like the comedic relief in these like really like tough times, but I think he's also a really good character who can quickly switch to being serious when it's really actually needed.
Yeah.
So I love that. That was like my favorite character of Onyx Storm for sure.
Yeah.
Who do you think yours was?
I mean, mine was definitely Riddick too, but I think mine's second one will probably have to be um, Art or Cam, whoever you want to call him, or whatever.
Yeah.
And something about him, and I noticed this just a minute ago when we were looking at the Dragons and the Riders. It still says in the beginning of this book that he does not have the singing yet. But towards the end of this book, Violet figures out that what his singing is, and that he's already manifested. And he's like, what do they call it? He sees the future, pretty much.
Yeah, precognition is what they called it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that clicked for her. I was like, well, holy crap, that makes sense.
Yeah. I was like, oh boy. Because I don't know. I could kind of tell that something funky was going on anyway. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because like there was just odd moments like here where he would know something or I don't know. I was like, there's gonna be more to this guy's story, you know.
Yeah. And in fact, he's a prince, but like, he doesn't care at all.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I think like my next thing that I have on my list is I had been seeing, so I really tried my best to stay away from spoilers. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
the both of us just finished this book yesterday.
Yes. It took me so long, and I regret saying that because I mean, it's really a book, but I probably stopped halfway and did not pick it up for over a month.
Yeah. I just knew that there was going to be a lot in this book, and it was really going to like take a lot of my focus. So that's why I was like, I really don't have the time to like sit and do this just yet. But when I get the time, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I was like running out of time, and I was like, I've got to get this book done by today.
Yeah.
So I just finished it yesterday, which, to be honest, I think it's actually better because it's like fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
So But anyway, so for that though, because I knew I had taken a long time to read it, I was really, really, really trying to stay away from spoilers. Um,
Yeah.
except for I kept seeing everywhere that people were talking about Dane's line, saying like everybody was calling him Dane, eyes here, Atos. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck does this mean? I'm like, obviously I'm gonna have to read the book to figure out what this means. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm reading and I'm reading and I'm like, oh, okay, guys, like, did I miss it? Am I gonna have to go back and read it again because I missed it the first time? And it didn't even show up to like, I don't know, the 3 or 4 chapters before the end of the book.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, okay. So, what are your thoughts on Dane's character?
I like how he has progressed since 14. I feel like obviously nobody liked him in the first book because, well, at first we did, me personally. But then as the book went on, I'm like, okay, he needs to die. Um, and then is it in? Can't remember because it's been so many months. But in the first book, is it in the first book or second book where he doesn't believe Violet when she gets attacked in her room?
I can't
Either
remember
way,
if it's the first
whichever
or
book.
the. I would say it's the
I think it's second, isn't it?
first.
Is it first?
It's the first where Zayden has to come in and like save the day.
Right then. That's when Liam starts being with her every day.
Yes, yes,
But yeah, it was first book.
yes.
Um, but that part definitely, like, he didn't care about Violet in that moment,
Mm-hmm.
and just like, we know what happened. You just need to set the record straight, basically, or whatever. And then that's when David stands up for her, and basically when she tells him to go F himself, essentially.
Yeah.
But I do like his progression throughout the books. I feel like his character has grown, and that he has grown himself. He doesn't really trust his dad now either, and he's aligned himself more with Violet and Zayden and their people.
Yes, I totally agree. Sorry, my camera just disappeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, I see that.
There we go. I'm back. I gotta fix myself, but I'm back. Anyway, yeah, no, I was in agreement. I was like I get that you're like the best friend character, so like I get the trope, like kind of fall in
Yeah.
love and I thought for a while it was gonna be more of kind of like a love triangle, but really Rebecca Yarros didn't really do much of that, which was kind of nice.
Right.
Yeah, but sorry, I had to fix my camera. Nope, not that. Nope, not that. There we go. Sorry. I don't know why I just disappeared off the face of the earth with my camera. There we go. Okay. So anyway, I thought she was going to do like a love triangle, but then I was like, oh no, we don't like this guy. Like, I don't think we're supposed to like this guy. I think that was her goal. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was, it actually, I'm loving his character progression.
Yes.
Like, I think he's got really good character progression. With him
Probably,
finally, I
probably
guess.
the best one out of the whole series so far.
Do what?
I said probably the best version in the series so far.
I would say, I mean, because from going from being a really hated character that nobody liked to now all of a sudden everybody loves him. Well, maybe not loves him, but everybody likes him at least. And they're like,
They don't want him dead as much.
yeah, exactly. I think with him having like going through everything he did with his dad and realizing like, okay, it's not actually, you know, the world isn't actually how I was like brought up seeing it, you know, how it was taught to me is not actually how it is. And everybody throughout the book kept saying, you know, do we trust him enough with this information? Do we trust him yet? Can we give him this information yet? And every single time he followed through. Like, he showed up when he was needed. He helped when he was needed. He kept secrets when he had to keep secrets. Like, he was on it. So I'm loving it. I'm loving his character progression.
Yeah.
And
I have a question for you.
yeah.
If we're done with that section,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay. What was your thoughts on Violet seeing Liam when she was getting punished by Varric?
Ooh. Yeah, I can't remember exactly why. I do know that I did some like digging a little further afterwards, and I was like, why is she seeing him?
Yeah.
And a lot of people said that it could be like her second signet. Was that she could, like, I don't know, I guess see dead people. I don't know. But somehow, some way, like, she had some kind of connection where she could, like, talk to people or see people.
Yeah.
So that's what I honestly was like, I don't know, maybe this is something that she's able to do. Maybe this is a second ability that she has.
I think with what progressed in Onyx Storm, I think it definitely is part of her second signet somehow intertwined into that.
Mm.
But those scenes absolutely broke me, especially at the end when she's like, you know, I don't want to leave you, and he's like, I'm always here, and I'm like,
I know.
if you could bring Jack, but you can't bring Liam back, like, come on.
Literally. Literally. And I guess kind of connecting those two together, Liam and what we were just talking about, Dane, is obviously Liam's sister Sloane.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody is saying that they really hope that Dane and Sloane get together.
Given their exchange, he flips him off in the final battle of Onyx Storm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's her that does it. So part of me thinks that I can see a little bit of what started with Violet and Zayden, you know, like the back and the forth of like, you know, you yada, and you know, I don't want to be around you or whatever. And when Dane said thank you to Sloane, you know, she just flips him off, and I'm just like, oh, okay, we may have something there in the fourth book, or you know, whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I guess we'll have to see, obviously. But, I don't know, sometimes their conversations don't really give off the conversations of like two people interested romantically in each other. They more give off to me, you know, conversations of like a leader and then someone who like follows, you know, like what the leader tells you to do. But there was also that other scene at Ryerson House where, like, I don't remember the exact exchange, but somebody says something, a captain's like smarts off and says something about like, you know, leaving people to die or whatever, and she like lunges for somebody, and he like restrains her and apparently like whispers something in her ear, and then she like goes back to formation, like goes back to line. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe there is something here, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It might be.
Maybe. I know. Do what?
It's something new that could progress in the fourth book.
Yeah. I also heard a lot of people wanted, obviously, Imogen and Garrick to be together. Or Garrick. Garrick?
Yeah.
Garrick.
Garrick. I think it's Garrick. I don't know.
I think it's Garrick.
But if I was hoping that something would progress between us because it came out in the first book that Zayden said that she had a crush on Garrett, and I was at the end of Storm. I was like, okay, well she's being vulnerable. It was after Quinn died, and was like, we need to get out of here or whatever. And she said, in her mind, she's like, I don't care if you see me vulnerable for the first time or whatever. He's like exhausted because he's um, fast traveling back and forth
Yep.
to people and race pods and stuff.
Yeah. I think that one, obviously that's something that if that comes to be, then great. Um,
Yep.
and there was somebody else. Who else was it that people were? Oh, I love Sawyer and Jacinia. I love that.
Yeah.
I am rooting
Yeah.
for that. I think that is so cute.
Learned language for her.
I know. How cute is that? Oh my gosh. So yeah, I'm rooting for that one. That's for sure. So hopefully we'll get some more kind of, bits and pieces of that.
Yeah. Is there any scenes in this book that you cried? Because I had one,
You
and it was
cried?
so unexpected. Yes, I
Yeah.
don't know why.
Um, it might be the same part. You tell me and I'll tell you.
It was when her second dragon and Darna left.
Yes, I did certainly get teary eyed at that, and I do have that on my list because that was wild to me, and I have like a theory about it. So I have that a little bit
Yeah,
later.
but that one just it. I don't know why. Like I started reading it, and I guess it was the way Violet was like, I'm not going to keep her here. She wants to learn about the family, and all this other stuff. And I don't know why. Like when she left, and then like she didn't feel the bond anymore. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes, I thought the same thing. I was like, holy crap! I was like, this cannot be happening. Um, but yeah, no, I thought the same thing. But I do have a theory
Because I
about
was
that.
just
Do you
like,
want me to talk about that now, or you want me to wait? Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it sounds different now. I wasn't sure if something happened.
Oh, okay, hang on. Oh, it might be because I reconnected my headphones. Hang on.
Oh,
No, I don't want output. I want audio input.
and I can still hear you. Just making sure everything's good on my end too.
Oh, about that. It's more wanting that for output, not. I don't want to input my mic that way. I don't know why it didn't give me the option. Okay, I'll just.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll just keep it this way. Um,
Yeah.
so do you want me to talk about my theory for Andarna
Yeah.
right now, or you want me to wait?
Wait and tell me where you got to.
Okay. Okay. So, what else were we talking about right before that? Oh, the part where we cried. I cried when Quinn died.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even really remember much about this character, but though I guess the way it was written, and like I know Imogen is like a hard ass. Like she does not get emotional about really anything. But for her to be so
Mm-hmm.
emotional about Quinn, I was like, oh, my heart. I
Yeah.
was so sad for her. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was where I cried. But also Andarna.
I got upset about that, but not near as bad as normally leaving.
Yeah, I agree. Um, let's see. What else did I have? Oh, So I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about second signets. So we've learned right now pretty much every child that was like from the rebellion, that have the rebellion relics, have second signets so far.
Yep.
So far. So obviously Zayden has, he's a shadow wielder, which I also have something about that. But he's a shadow wielder and an intensic, so he can read people's intentions. Garrick, I can't. It's like one of those, and I'm like, I don't know for sure. Obviously, he can. I'm not sure what his first signet is. Let me see. Let me see if it has it on here. Oh, no. And it's all your red Sloan are links. It doesn't have it in here. So I don't remember. If there's somebody in the chat, tell me in the chat if you guys know. Okay, hang on. People are saying they can't hear you, Emily.
Oh.
Have mercy. It doesn't have it in here. So I don't remember. If there's somebody in the chat, tell me in the chat if you guys know. Intensic, so he can read people's intentions. I hear you. Last time, and okay. So, what are your thoughts on Dane's character?
I like how he had.
I can hear you. It's just a little doubled, but Discord doesn't want to work.
He's an air wielder.
Huh?
He's an air wielder, and then the distance.
Oh, is he?
The back part or whatever.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So that's his second one, is that he can walk long distances. Imogen is memory erasing, which is important for, and fire apparently, or whatever. I'm not sure if it was fire necessarily, or like it was like an explosion. It was like a fire. I think it's just fire. We did finally find out Violet's second signet.
Can go into people's dreams.
Yes, so she's a dream walker. Which, is that what you thought she would be? Is that what you thought her second signet would be?
I have no idea what I thought. It dawned on me that it would be something like that. I would think it would be something that could boost her lightning wielding.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I do not think it should be
a dreamwalker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really sure what I thought she would be, but I definitely wasn't, definitely didn't think that it was going to be a dreamwalker. That was probably like the last thing on my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, I oh, sorry, I was reading this chat on Twitch. That's so funny. I don't know who this is. Anyway, they're just saying funny things in the chat. So, no, I didn't think she'd be a dreamwalker, but I'm not mad about it. I do think that we're going to see her do a lot of things in the future with it, especially because now, at the end of Onyx Storm, which we'll get there in a minute, Zayden's not there anymore. Not like dead. He's just gone. He's disappeared. And I think she's gonna use her dream walking to find him. But I have a theory on that too. So the
I wouldn't even be thinking about that.
yeah, I think that's what she's going to use it for. I think that's like what's important for her to have it. I think also other things. Obviously, it's going to come into play when it comes to the war that's still ongoing. Like she's going to use it in some form or fashion. But obviously, everything comes back to Zayden. So that's how somehow she's going to use that.
So did you catch at the end? I'm moving a little bit. At the end, after they channeled for the last time, when it was after he channeled and he was asking Fagel, I don't know if that's how you say her name, he said, you saw what happened, it's the only way. And then it says she glances over her shoulder and you think she'll help, talking about Violet. And he said, she loves me. And Fagel says, charms not, you haven't looked in a mirror yet. The red veins branching from your eyes, but like her lightning. Not red, her lightning. And then he says that she'll help. It comes out with the hell of a lot more certainty than I feel. She promised. And then, fast forward a second, and then he says, someone owes me a favor. And they never near her, especially while she lies in a vulnerable state. So that has to be when she's passed out for those hours or whatever happens with her during that time period. And he didn't know that any of that had happened apparently. And then he says, persuade harm, like begging, and he said everything depends on it. And Fagel says, we will ask, and her decision will determine our fate. And then they leave.
Yeah.
And then it skips so at that part, before it got to where Violet had the ring on her finger and all that stuff, I'm like, was there something that was skipped, or was something that had happened when, right before that, didn't she, like, what's the word for it, eviscerate herself, almost, because she willed it so much?
Yeah, she almost burnt out, when they were fighting Theophany.
So, I'm wondering, and I don't even know I was, in my head, I'm thinking that something had to happen, because Inarna also showed up, which I was like, thank you.
Uh-huh.
But, I don't know, something in my head, I'm just like, something else had to happen.
For sure.
Happened where no one knows where she's at for 12 hours, and she has zero memory whatsoever. She doesn't remember marrying Zayden, doesn't know where he is, zero memory.
Uh-huh.
It is 12 hours.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, what or who has the power to do that?
Imogen does.
Never, yes. And Violet looks at her and she's like, what did you do? And Imogen says, what you asked me to.
Yeah.
Not what Zayden asked her to do, what Violet asked her to do.
Yep.
And then that's it. And I'm like,
Yep.
so what the heck happened within that time period of 12 hours?
Okay, so I have my own theory, but I also have heard a fan theory this morning that went along with my theory. So I'll start with the fan theory first. So the fan theory is Zayden and Violet meet up after the battle. She can tell he has progressed because he wielded like crazy at the end, and that's how she was able to, kill Theophany or helped her anyway. So they meet up after, and she could tell he's progressed. So now he's gone from an initiate to a sim, I'm pretty sure. And so now what I have seen is that people are talking about the significance of the fact that there are 7 dragon eggs missing, or 6. There's 6 dragon eggs that are missing.
Yep.
Okay, so remember back when they were in Unbriel at Dune's temple fighting Queen, is it Mara, or something like that? She says that we will join you in your battle if you give us 6 dragon eggs. 6 eggs, 1 of each kind. So we think what happened, well, this person, but also similarly what I was thinking was happening, is they have gone to the Temple of Dune. They have given Queen Myra 6 dragon eggs. They have married in the Temple of Dune under a priestess, because Violet had started being, but not completed, being dedicated to Dune. That's why half of her hair is silver. And so they married at the temple so that it also would dedicate Xaden to Dune. And I'll get there in a minute. But then that's why there are 6 dragon eggs missing, is because to do that, and also to get the army. Don't ask. They took 6 dragon eggs so that they could marry, dedicate Xaden, and get the army to defeat the Venin from Unbriel. And then Imogen must have gone. I mean, there must have been other people that went. They probably all, squatted up and then went. And Xaden must have a plan for how... They must have a plan of how they're going to cure him. And he has plans, like, moving forward. So they got married because then he's gone, but now she's the Duchess of Tyrrendor. So she now has power politically. So she's not left, like, powerless if he's gone off searching for this cure. Or completing his dedication to Dune, because I'm getting there. I promise. Or he's completing his dedication, so he's going to be gone for some time. So she still has power politically to change and do things. He's off trying to cure himself. And that's why 6 drag eggs are missing, and Imogen has wiped Violet's memory using her powers, so that Violet doesn't, if she's interrogated, she doesn't know what Xaden's doing. No one still, if she was, like, captured and interrogated, no one knows that Xaden is Venin other than the people that need to know, Yeah. But the...
Okay.
Well, okay. So the reason people are saying he has gone to be dedicated to Dune is because when they are fighting, let me see if I can... Her and Theophany. Let me see if I can find it really quick. It's at the very end of the chapter. Violet. She says... Hang on, where is it at? It is... Okay, she says why... Okay, she says... Do you not yearn for temple? Violet's talking to Theophany. Theophany says, do you, or are you immune, having only been touched but not dedicated? So Violet's not fully been dedicated. She was just touched by Dune. Do you know the pain of never being allowed to return, of knowing that it would sever the very thing that's kept me untouchable all these years. So if she returns to temple, she wants to go. She yearns to go to temple. But she knows that if she does, it is going to sever the thing that keeps her untouchable, which is being Venin. So she knows if she returns as a priestess to temple, it will sever her ability to be Venin. And that's how, because she has been touched by the blade that's been blessed by Dune, that's how she can die, and that's how she bleeds. Because Jack in the very beginning of the book says, do you want me to tell you why only initiates bleed? So she's a maven. Theophany doesn't bleed. But when Violet stabs her with this dagger, or the sword, she bleeds and she dies. Because she's been touched by a blade that has then made her human again. And she dies. So they got married in a temple so Xaden can go through dedication and sever the Venin link. That's what I think.
Yes. Okay. I can see that. Did you remember right? Something similar happened in Ecuador, where Reese and oh my gosh, so many people, where they secretly got married and she became High Lady, yada yada yada.
Yes.
But the comment that I was going to make was, it says that Vaden's eyes were like Violet's lightning or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Her eyes are the same at the end of the book. Did you catch that?
No.
But you didn't? Okay, hold on. Little. I'm trying where exactly it said it. There's a part in here where but apparently Garrett is also missing with Zayden. Which makes me think that if what you said is true, that she is now the Duchess, then is it Bodhi? No, it was Garrett that was second line, right?
Say it again.
Which one was it that was second to the throne? Was it Garrett
Bodhi.
or Bodhi? Bodhi. Okay, well, where is he? Because currently he's missing too. But you have Zayden missing, Garrett, Bodhi, and then there's somebody else that's also missing. Because there's 4 of them.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so it says so far the tally is 6 missing eggs. So we know that there's 6 missing eggs.
Yeah.
Keep this classified. Do you know where do you know where he is? Ask me softly. Ryerson. You heard what Wieselson said? Oh. We have dead dragons and riders missing and missing eggs. If you've seen Ryerson, I need to know, Violet. So, I don't know. Cardulo.
There's a part in here about
Imogen is Cardulo. I haven't seen him since yesterday. She says, her voice low, almost monotone. Lieutenant Tavis, among the missing. So she said, Garrick is missing 2. So there are 4 riders that are missing. So we know Garrick is missing. Obviously Xaden is missing. agent's name.
Right, I think what I was saying that when Brennan first met Violet, and Narnia says, "I will not let them burn me," and Violet's like, "Why in the world would my brother burn me?"
Yeah.
And his eyes bulge when she looks up at him. So something's happened to her as well with either. Didn't they weren't they saying that she would have to channel or something as well? Or she could channel.
That I don't know. That I don't know. So it says 4 riders and their dragons and 3 elders murdered in the valley in what we're estimating in the last few hours. And we still have 5 riders missing, 4 now. So Violet's back. So she was the 5th that was missing. So then there are 2 more other than Garrick. I cannot keep that one straight. And Xaden. So maybe Bodhi is the other one?
I'm thinking, but to me that would make sense if he went off to do something that he would take Eric and Bodhi with him. If what your thought, what or the theory was true about her being defensive.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe that's true. So that way, that's why another reason why they decided to get married is because my brain is like rolling at 1,000 miles. That's another reason that they felt like they had to get married, so that Tyrandor wouldn't be left without someone to rule it. Because if Bodhi's also with Xaden and Garrick, that would make sense, right?
I would think so.
And then she has a letter from Xaden that says, "Don't look for me, it's yours now." And at first I thought it was the ring. He's saying it's yours now. I think he's talking about Tyrandor. It's yours now. Because Bodhi's gone, Garrick's gone, Xaden's gone. I think it's Tyrandor that they're talking about. That he's telling her it's hers.
But Karn also had to go through something because Norna said that he needs a cycle of rest to recover.
Yeah.
But as far as no, nothing happened other than him getting caught by the net. But I mean, he was fine.
People are speculating it was because he had to fly all the way to Umbriel and back with Violet, so he needs to rest. That he's okay, he just needs to rest because he's been flying. Which is another thing. I don't know how they're going to handle that. If Xaden is with Sigale, and Violet's with Taryn and Sigale have to see each other. They can't go like more than 2 weeks, I think it is, apart. So my thoughts for book 4. I think the first half of the book is she's going to be trying to figure out why she's married, figure out her role as Duchess. She's going to be graduating, I think, in like a couple months, trying to get her memory back because against everything else, she probably thinks she needs her memory back.
Yeah.
And so I think half of the book is her doing all of that. I think then the second half of the book is going to be a showing, or maybe not the second half, but at least like the end, she'll get her memory back. And maybe like the last, 10 chapters or so, we'll see what happened in those 12 months. 12 hours that she was missing.
Yeah.
I think.
I hope, though, that it kind of goes back and forth between Violet and Xaden, and whatever the heck he's doing.
Maybe.
A chapter going through an insight or whatever, instead of waiting until the very end to be like, oh, and last 5 chapters are going to be about Xaden and what he's been doing, and then they don't like they're not together, or like
Yeah.
they don't see each other.
And I think that with her dream walking, though, we will see snippets of Xaden, even if she doesn't go back and forth like POV wise. I think we will still see some of Xaden because she'll use that dream walking ability to sink into his dreams.
And we found out that they can talk in the middle of things, and like they can actually communicate. And
Yes.
like what's the word, when she realized that it was Xaden's dream, she
Yeah.
separated from him in the dream, and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yes.
And then the whoever either the mage that showed up,
Yes.
stage, whatever.
Yep. And I think that um oh gosh, what I was gonna say. I had so many things running through my head, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um yeah. Yeah. I'm like, and then this connects, and then this connects, and then
Well, my thing
I
is, one of the things that was running through my head was, and Darna left, and then she showed back up. So I think what happened between that time period of her leaving and then showing back up at the end of the file,
say that again.
about Endorna showing up at the end of the file.
Yes. So my question is, obviously we can see that Andarna shows back up and she's talking to Violet. So Violet can hear
Yeah.
her again. But does that mean Andarna has reconnected the bond? Or has she learned in her time with the other Irids how to speak to humans without bonding?
Yep.
So just because she's talking to Violet doesn't necessarily mean that they're bonded back together.
Yeah, that's true. She showed back up.
Yeah. But she was there. That's what really matters. And then I wanted to say there was a part that where is okay, there is a part where it says that Violet tries to reach out to Xaden, but it's not like because she can feel that there was something happening to Xaden, and she tries to reach out to the bond, but usually, she feels like ice cold, like he's like shut her out, but that she feels nothing anymore. And I think that's probably because he progressed with channeling even more. So it could have broken their bond somehow, some way. But I think, because then I was like, well, how is she gonna dream walk? Obviously, blah blah blah. If he shuts her out, but for one, they may not have a bond anymore, and two, Xaden does even say when they find out Violet's second signet is dreamwalking that she would be the most dangerous in Tenzik because she can. It's one thing to like read people's intentions when they're awake, like what Xaden does, but then to be able to then capture people when they're sleeping, when they're vulnerable. They can't shield themselves when they sleep. So he wouldn't be able to block her out anyway. So I think we're going to see some of that. I think they'll be apart, but we'll still see them together a little bit.
I hope so.
So I think that was a lot of what I had said. We talked about the cure and what the fan theory thought the cure was being dedicated to Dune. Okay. The only other two things that I had about this book specifically is that Lynx one of the Griffin writers, the new Griffin writers, has manifested the ability to shadow wield.
Yep.
And there was only supposed to be technically one shadow wielder per time. Like there's not supposed to be two at a time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of sad.
And then Zayden also said that they was able to do that because he's restoring the balance. It's something, but like he thought in his mind something was going to happen to him,
Mm-hmm.
but that's why Lynx could manifest it back.
Exactly. And I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, well, crap. Um,
Yeah.
so we'll see how that works out. And then my only other thing was at the end of at the end of her dad's note when she gets it in Deverelli from the old lady at the bookstore. And at the very end, it says, trust only Mira.
Yep.
So I wonder what that's going to look like what that kind of entails is like trust only Mira. Is it because Mira knows something? Mira's going to find out something on her own journey that she needs to tell Violet. And then there was another theory that I was going to talk about, which is Brennan, because her dad may have told her not to trust only Mira, to not trust Brennan. Like, don't trust her brother. Because Brennan was romantically, to some degree, with Naolin, who was Taryn's previous rider. And he burnt out trying to heal Brennan.
Yep.
That's how Brennan survived. So, what they thought, because he was like a siphon, like Sloane. Yeah. So what they thought is, because kind of like what happened to Mira, Brennan didn't have enough power. So Sloane siphoned from Dane to Brennan so Brennan could have enough power to save Mira. So what they're thinking is that Naolin did not have enough power to heal Brennan. And so he channeled from the earth to heal Brennan. And because we actually don't know if he died, I don't think. I had heard some things that it was like, they just don't talk about him. Like, he's just not around. I don't know. But a lot of people think that because he channeled from the earth, he turned venom. And because he was a siphon from the ground to Brennan, he also made Brennan venom as well.
Interesting.
And there's a part in the book where they talk about how Brennan has a rune on his palm.
Yep.
And they talk, the fan theory is that if he's half venom, but he has control because the runes on his palms don't allow him to channel from the ground.
Yeah.
Because venom can sense other venom, and when Zayden was in the room and they heard a knock on their door, Zayden said, "Oh, that's Brennan," because he could sense him. So when her Violet's dad says trust only Brennan or trust only Mira, maybe he knew what also happened to Brennan, because it gets crazy. I'm telling you, I've gone down a deep end. Because there's a correspondence at the beginning of one of the chapters where Violet's mom was asking Nolan, the healer, if there was a way to cure venom, and he said there's no cure, only control, because they're thinking that they knew that Brennan was half venom and were trying to find a way to cure him.
Yeah.
Is that not wild?
And but now, too, apparently Violet is something's going on with her as well. Because remember one of the guards at the end of the book was like looking at her, and Brennan was like, "No, she's fine." And he said, just because she's your sister doesn't mean, you got her. And I'm like, is she turned? Is she not turned? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Those
I know.
crazy. If Brennan is and Violet is.
Yeah. I just don't know. So creates some crazy fan theories.
Oh, I guess another thing, touching back on the second Signets or whatever. Signets. Do you think Sloan had the second one?
You think Sloan has the second one, you said?
If you think that she did. Or she's going to manifest another one.
Well, she is one of the children from the rebellion. And also, on that line, we don't find out what Bodhi's is.
True.
But Violet asks him, and he was like, I don't have one, basically. And so...
I want to just Google this to see what it says. It says, fans theorize that Bodhi possesses a second signet, though it remains unconfirmed. Some suggest he might have the ability to counter other signets, potentially explain why he seems to avoid conflict and prefers a supporting role. The theory is fueled by the notion that second signets are common among those with rebellion relics, and Bodhi's close relationship with Zayden and Violet suggests he could be one of them.
Well, I think he can already counter signets, right? Is that not his... That's already his offensive. Because Violet even says it. Like, he has... It's a very good, offensive, but not defensive.
Yeah. That's what they're saying that his first thing is. But... I guess they,
But that we don't know about his second signet. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of implied by Zayden slightly that he might have one or might, like... Go ahead.
This kind of made sense. That there's a thing on down the page that says, another theory suggests Bodhi can sense other people's signets, including Zayden's signet. And that's why he seems to know about it.
Oh. Okay.
Now, I wonder if there was some, just like in the first and second book, if Bodhi was kind of giving Violet, like, pointers or something, or, like, trying to encourage her to, do certain things. Like, if he would have known that it could be a lightning bolt.
I see. That makes sense.
Oh. Okay, now I'm going back to the hole. Okay. A theory persists, that Mom might be sensing a second signet in Dane, and when she tells him he shouldn't have that much power, she's referring to his signet.
I caught that too. I was like, what do you mean he shouldn't have that much power?
And then I don't remember who made the comment, maybe Violet's point of view or whatever, but she was like, well, maybe it's just because of who his dad is. That he's, in...
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Power, whatever.
He's just very powerful. I don't know. Crazy. I did pick up on that, though. I was like, okay. Oh, also, and I don't know if this is, like, important, but I did pick up throughout the book that her dad's name is Asher.
Yeah.
And there was 2 Ashers at, like, in the parts in the beginning. I can't remember. I literally just said the right word, but now I forgot what they're called in the beginning of the chapters. And it, like, I think his last name is Daxton, Asher Daxton. And then in other parts, it turns to Asher Sorengale. So it must have been that, like, when they married, he took her last name.
Yeah.
Which is common because, who was it? Was it Zayden that said, we can take your last name? Like, it doesn't have to be Ryerson.
Yeah.
Like, we can take Sorengale.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like a common practice in this world, this EMPYREAN world.
Satan Sorengale sounds weird to me.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Wild. All in all, though, I'm excited for book 4. We do know that Rebecca Yarros has just put on Instagram that she is writing her contemporary first because she's contractually obligated to write a contemporary, and then book 4, and then it'll be another contemporary, and then book 5. So we've got a long time before the series ends. I get it. Marketing, you're going to maximize your profit. So I totally understand. I am assuming we will get book 4 early 2027.
Which sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's so far away.
It's very far away. So yeah, we should get, I would say the contemporary, she's just now like putting pen to paper to like mark this stuff out for like her plot lines. So I'm saying we would get contemporary late this year, early next year. I mean, she could knock out a contemporary like it ain't nothing. I don't think it's going to take her long to get that done. And then it's going to take her quite some time to get book 4 done. So
She better go through all the details, is all I'm saying, and she better take into account how her fans feel about all this crap.
Agreed.
She better tread carefully.
Agreed. There is, though, apparently, in the meantime, on Audible, you can get the dramatic readings of all 3 books. Part 2 of book 3 is coming out in like a week and a half on July 2nd. But you can get the dramatic readings. Have you listened to any of the dramatic readings? They're really freaking good. They're so good. It's like listening to a movie, just not like seeing them. It's got sound effects, music. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, Fourth Wing listening to the dramatic reading was top tier. Would recommend. Yeah. And then there is a Fourth Wing graphic novel that is coming on September 30th. So
I did see that.
It's being released on September 30th, which is the day before Threshing Day, which is November 1st. I mean, not November 1st. October.
October.
So that's something to look forward to. We may not be getting book 4 for quite some time, but we at least will be getting some sort of content soon.
Yep.
All right, we want to do quick fan casting.
Sure.
Okay.
I think we agreed on all of them.
We did, yeah. And there's some that I'm not sure yet, so I just left them blank. But I do see that you've filled in quite a few of them. So for what I don't have, I think you have in return. So let me turn. Perfect. So let me turn on here. So we both agreed that, well, I'm going to pull this. I've got our notes here. I said, for me personally, can I not just search it? Hello? There we go. Oh, great. Okay. Let me just Google her. I said Freya Allen.
Yes.
She's She's the girl in The Witcher. Especially this picture here. To me, that is super violet coated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the braided hair, the silver hair. She's very small. She's very petite. She has petite features. And she's great in The Witcher. So, I mean, she's a great actress.
Yes.
So she can play
Yes.
very,
Definitely.
yeah, she can play very demanding roles, dramatic roles. So I think she'd be good. You said, or Mackenzie Foy. That was the other one. Which obviously I do love Mackenzie Foy. She's Twilight and Interstellar. Mackenzie Foy. So she's also, I think, a good choice. We're pretty much in agreement for who we think Violet should be.
Yeah.
Now Xaden, we did totally agree.
Oh yeah.
I, with the long hair specifically, on his Instagram. Let me just go to this Instagram post. Oh, not that one. Hang on. I think this whole post. Let's just see what he's up to. Oh, don't know where he is, but that's somewhere fancy. Oh, it's just a dice file. Nothing exciting. I think this whole reel of pictures is the reason he should play Xaden. Because, whoa. I mean, goodness gracious. And then, of course, we have, where was it? Is it this one? Oh, yep. This is the one where his bio, or his caption was just a dragon.
Yep.
So,
and somebody caught him reading Fourth Wing at like the beach or something.
yes. Yep. So, we are in agreement that he should play Xaden. Next, for Rhiannon, you said Logan Browning. I've not seen this person. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because Rhiannon definitely wears her hair in braids, so I could see that.
And there was one where she had some practice gear on or something for like one of the past movies that she's done. And when I saw that one, I was like, oh yeah, she could play Reed.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think so. She has to be like, obviously, like a super strong person, because she's, she's the leader. She's like really good in battle. So I like that. Mine was her name is Amono. She played in Legacies. Couldn't think of it there for a second. So yeah, she played in Legacies, and she had a badass character in Legacies. So I think she is more than capable to play a character like that for Fourth Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she nailed it. A lot of people are actually saying that Danielle, I forget her last name, that she should play Violet.
I did see something about that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I also saw something about Pat Graham playing
Rhiannon. I think so, but I think she's a little older.
Yeah, and plus I think she's not like built like what I picture Reed to be.
Exactly. I agree. Oh, okay, so we agreed on who we think Riddick should be. And I just from this TikTok, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is him. This is him.
It's gotta be somebody that has character for sure. Like,
Exactly. Can you hear this?
Yeah. So I got mugged in London.
yeah.
Let's see if my casino understands
Okay, let's see if we can turn it up a little.
without seeing it. Good luck.
Shaking things up for the better or for the worse?
I'd say for the long term better, but for the short term, way worse.
1, 2, heart, point at the kids. Yes. Because you care about them. You know there's time.
I think I'm fucking with this whole toothpick aesthetic. You know?
Okay, the dog's feet out. Put your tongue out for 4 counts. Sorry, what? What am I wiping with my tongue? Yes, move me 1 second. Can I see some more?
It was the hangout spot. Just saying, yo.
I think he would be a good fit.
Even though I had nothing in it,
Yeah.
it was just the vibes. I brought the vibe.
You talk to yourself when you're nervous. Hell yeah. I talk to myself when I'm nervous for sure. Just like calm myself down. Nice.
Riddick's not very good either, but like, he could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got that like charming, goofy character down, and he's also, he's good looking, so he'd fit right in.
Yeah.
So I think he would be great. Both of us left Sawyer blank, but I'll come back around to that one. Mira, you have Elizabeth Olsen, which I think I did see. Oh, hang on. Oh,
That
why
was
didn't
it.
it?
I put that, but I don't know for sure.
Oh.
Oh, good of a fit she would be with the role.
But maybe like looks wise. Let's
Yeah.
see, Elizabeth Olsen.
Because she plays Scarlet
Oh,
Witch,
yeah.
especially. I mean, she's like pretty badass herself, but Mira is like, she's pretty independent and
Strong.
all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I think her and Freya Allen look pretty similar. So I think they could
Yeah.
pass as sisters.
True.
Like
Mira-
that?
Mira is older.
Yeah. I think so. I
Yeah.
really like this fan cast. I think that one's definitely a good option for sure. Okay, Brennan, you said Joshua Orpin? Who's this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yep, I like that too. He kind of has similar features to the other two. I think you could definitely pass all 3 of those people off as siblings.
In some way, yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, and then Dane, you said Freddie Thorpe. Oh, you know what?
I think he's the one that played on Little Liars.
Oh, okay. Well, that didn't work. Let's try it this way. And you said, oh, this is the guy that plays in Wink Saga.
Oh yeah, him.
Oh, okay.
He kind of gives off like picturing Fourth Wing Dane, like first book.
Yeah.
He gives off like, I'm section leader. Squad leader, whatever. And he's just very arrogant and. One look at him, you not want to punch him in the face. So.
Fair. Fair. That's funny though that you put him for that, because my honorable mention, I didn't have anybody for those. Where am I going? Oh, mine are here. I didn't have any for those, but my honorable mentions for Liam was the other guy that plays in Wing Saga, which is Danny Griffin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that would be,
That would I really agree with.
yeah, because he's got the blonde hair, he's, you know, tall, he's built, and he's like he's a good actor. Like, I definitely think he could pull that role off easy.
Mm-hmm.
So that he would be my choice for Liam. And then obviously we know these two guys we talked about in the last podcast. These two guys have been going back and forth on who is going to be Zayden. Like, this has been the two biggest guys talked about on who's going to play Zayden. In my opinion, he should play Bodhi. He should be Bodhi. Obviously, he's good looking. For sure. So I think he'd be a great Bodhi. And I think that him and Emilio are close enough looking to be like cousins.
Yeah.
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 So I like it. Well, fantastic. Those are our fan casts.
They're pretty good.
Nice. Obviously, I'll just be happy when it comes out. I know that, you know, those people,
Yes.
there are some people that are like, it's this person or I'm not going to watch it or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, at the end of the day, casting directors know what they're doing. And I'm not a casting director. Those people have visions that are crazy that I'm like, I will never know.
Rebecca may already have insight of who, or as to who she wants to play Lila. It's her character is coming to life.
True.
I mean, screen, rather.
And you know, I actually was going to say honorable mention. I don't care where they have to put this guy, but I want them to put this guy somewhere. Maybe he could be Sawyer. We'll see. I love Matthew Broom. He is my new celebrity crush, okay? Like, him in My Fault London, gorgeous. Him in, like, Buccaneers up here, gorgeous. He's great, and he's a fantastic actor. So who knows? Maybe he could be Sawyer. I'll take it. And he's got, like, the sweet, charming guy, kind of down pat. So I really think he could do that kind of a character really well.
Yeah.
So I'm for that. Okay. Let's see. Now, the last thing on my list before we get to our book reviews is this quick TikTok from Alex Astor. I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, I have.
Have you?
I have.
Oh no. Okay. So she's talking about, it says, when it's time to write the character death you've had planned since the beginning of the series. And she's crying as she's typing on her laptop. I'm sorry. What? What? Who is she gonna kill?
It better be Oro. Or I did see somebody say that it could be what's the
Do what?
I'm trying to think of what his name was. It's been so long since I read. The Dawn. Not Dawn. I'm thinking about the wrong series. What is his name? Alright. Oh, I'm serious. Hold on.
roll? Can I just move over, please? Guess not. Well, the comments here say, as you're looking, plot twist.
Yeah.
Isla dies and Oro and Grim get married. Oh, I don't know about that.
Something about Azul.
You think she'd cry like that though for him?
I don't know, but I guess people are just hoping that it's not Grim.
Grim. Michaela says, Alex, don't you dare. Unless it's Oro, then proceed. If Grim dies, we ride it, Dawn.
Yes.
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If you kill Grim, I will hunt you down and force you to rewrite the ending. Yo, who said that? Oh my goodness. But in comparison, kill Oro. Who said that? A lot of people are certainly more inclined for Oro to die than Grim. Nobody wants Grim to die, including me.
I wonder how or what new information we'll get when she releases her Grim and Aura book in September.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see about that. I don't know. I said it like I don't know. I don't know if I said it last podcast or the podcast before, but I said it and I'll say it again. I'm not interested in reading more about Oro.
Right?
I don't want to know anymore. I'm just not interested. So, I don't know. I mean, I'll pick it up just because, we're following along with the series and, we got to report on it if we're going to finish the thing through. But.
The book looked pretty cool too.
Say it again?
Like the cover for it looked pretty. The cover for the book looked pretty cool.
Oh, let me look at I don't think I've seen the cover.
I think she had it out. I think that was the one that I saw earlier.
Oh, yes. I have seen that. Yeah. It's the same. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it looks really nice, but...
If it comes in 2 separate books, I'm not even going to read Auras. I'm going to read Grim.
Same. That is so funny.
It's like you're giving me the option to just not even read him, so I'm going to.
Yeah, for real. Well, I think it's one. It says it's 2 brand new romantasy novellas bound into one deluxe novel-length volume written from the perspectives of Grim and Oro. So it gives readers into Grim's past. The king, and then Oro is a king torn between desire and justice. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order it because it's actually only it's only like $27.99. So I'll go ahead and pre-order it so I have it for when it arrives, but I'm not gonna be happy about it. Where is my address? There it is. Okay, I pre-ordered it. Alright, last thing, book reviews. Do we want to start with the obvious?
We can.
Do it.
I said we can.
Go for it. What are you giving Onyx Storm?
Probably 4.5 out of 5.
You know, it's the same that I gave it. I prolonged it because I didn't think I was going to like it. I ended up actually really liking it. Oh, and you know what? Speaking of Light Lark, I was going to say this book gave me a lot of Light Lark vibes.
Really?
With them traveling between like different isles and meeting different people and different kings and da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is really like giving me Light Lark vibes.
Yeah.
So.
I can see that.
Yeah. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5, you think?
Yeah.
Nice. Were there any others that you had?
Nope. That's the only one I was able to read.
I actually surprisingly read more than I thought I was going to be able to get to this month, or this last 2 months, really. But it was a very heavy Kindle 2 months. I read only one physical book, which was Onyx Storm. And obviously, like I said, it was 5.5. Or 4.5, not 5.5. It was 4.5. But then I read a couple other Kindle books, and I'll just run through them quickly. King of Envy by Anna Huang. 4th book in the series that she's writing. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I was really looking forward to it because I thought it was going to be my favorite. It is not my favorite, but I had high hopes for his character, for Vuk's character. Yeah, didn't really hit like I thought it was going to, so I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I actually dabbled in the Ice Planet Barbarians. I don't know if you've seen anything about Ice Planet Barbarians.
I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Well. It's something, to say the least. It's basically about these group of women who crash down from an alien spaceship, who were abducted from Earth, and then crash onto an alien planet, and then are not necessarily kidnapped, but rescued from to live among the people. And it's very, 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 very heavily smut forward. There is very little plot. Very, very little.
Wow.
And so I finished book 1. I said, you know what? I'm going to go book 2. Let me just see if this progresses any. Because I kind of wanted to see where the story kept going. And it was okay. And then I got to book 3 and I'm like, okay, no, I just can't do this anymore. So, I did not finish book 3, but I did finish book 1, book 2. I DNF'd book 3. There are supposedly 21 books in this series.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and they're all in Kindle Unlimited if anyone is interested. But in total, for it being very small plot, lots of smut, and not the best written thing on the planet, I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. 2 out of 5. Then I read Wild Love, Wild Eyes, and Wild Side by Elise Silvers, or Elsie Silvers rather. And those are the 3 different books: Wild Love, Wild Eyes, and Wild Side. Overall, I gave it a 4 out of 5, each of them. But I still love the Chestnut Springs series better than Rose Hill series. But Rose Hill is getting a new TV show adaptation, so I'm excited about that. So we'll see. But those 3, really good. I really kind of struggled to get through Wild Side because it was a little cringy. The guy's a pro wrestler. And to me, it was a little cringy. So I tried to get through it. Just the way she wrote it was just a little cringy. But anyway, 4 out of 5. And then I got through Ira and Acedia, I think is how you say it, by Colette Rhodes. Those are the last 2 books in the Shades of Sin series, and they're also kind of smut heavy, but they're actually good. They have good plot. It's got a good storyline. I actually really enjoyed like kind of learning about it, or like being engrossed in a new, different type of world. So I really did actually enjoy it, and totally for the whole series, I gave them a 4 out of 5. I would recommend it. Onyx Storm, we said I gave it 4.5 out of 5. And then my last 2 for the month. The first one was Consider Me by Becca Mack, and I did not finish it. Crazy. It was going well. The cover of the book is beautiful. So I picked it up and was like, okay, I'm definitely going to read this. But I got about 3/4 to halfway through, or 30% to 50% through is what I'm trying to say. And this guy calls his you-know-what a sword of thunder. And immediately I was like, you are supposed to be a super popular captain of a hockey team guy in college. No, he's not in college. He's like owns 2 homes, captain of a hockey team, gets paid millions of dollars, and calls his thing a sword of thunder. I said,
That's crazy.
No, we're not gonna do that. That is so childish.
No.
So I did not finish it. And actually, if you want to know more about it, I am going to be making a TikTok tonight to go up on our TikTok, the bookshelf, Beyond the Bookshelf TikTok, to see if I can get anyone else's opinions on this book because it has thrown me for a loop. And then the last one is Pretend You're Mine by Lucy Score. Didn't finish it. I DNF'd it. It was another one that I thought I was really going to enjoy. I actually talked to somebody in Walmart, picked it up, and that girl was like, oh, that was really good. You should read it. So it's been sitting in my Kindle. It's on Kindle Unlimited for a long time. And I was like, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to give it a shot. No, this guy, same thing as Consider Me. This guy is ex-military, and he's kind of like a hardball. And this girl just walks in out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he's in love, buying furniture for a home he barely lives in, so that she can like have a place to stay. And I'm like, I don't like this. He all of a sudden becomes very, very soft, and I'm like, okay, no, I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
So I DNF'd it. So yeah, that was my last 2 months. I finished a couple of series, and yeah, that's kind of where I am.
I'm gonna try to read more than one book. I'm gonna start with Powerless.
Yeah, I gotta find mine. Mine's somewhere.
And then
There.
I got Quicksilver the other day.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm excited. I got my Powerless book. I'm excited. We can talk about that next time. Because I have no one else to talk about Quicksilver with. So, and I really enjoyed Quicksilver.
I cannot read two books at once, so I'm gonna have to read this one first, Powerless, and then I'll read Quicksilver. But I'm probably gonna start this one time.
Yeah, I think me too. I think I'm going to do the same. I have the audiobook, and I've been trying to listen to the audiobook, and I cannot get into that audiobook. I don't know what it is. I do not know. So I'm going to actually pick the physical copy back up again and try it. But speaking of, so our next podcast, we've come to the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for watching. We always appreciate you guys watching, liking, following, subscribing, wherever you are, depending on what you're watching it on. We really, really appreciate it. But our next podcast is going to be August 31st at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it will be Powerless versus Red Queen. So we've seen a lot where people are saying that Powerless is a direct ripoff of Red Queen. Now, I've never read Red Queen nor Powerless, to be fair. So yeah, we're gonna read both of them, compare, and make our own decisions on whether we feel that Powerless is exactly like Red Queen and maybe a ripoff, or if they're two totally different books and people are being unfair about it. So, any last words, Emily?
Well, yes.
Alrighty. Well then, we will see you guys August 31st, and hopefully some throughout that on TikTok and Facebook. So, cool. Alright, well we will see you guys then.
Bye.
Goodbye.